What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 4 Grayscale trusts today. We're going to talk about G-Link and Mana, and then as always, we're going to talk about BCHG and LTCN. G-Link is at the request of Christ follower. The rest of them are just for funsies, so let's get into it. Looking at the chart here on G-Link, you've had a little bit of a drop off to start this week, haven't you? Down 18%. Not a lot of volume either, right? Not a lot of volume at all. On a weekly basis, we see here from an overall high back in March of this year to the overall low that we had in August. You went all the way up to your 786, 886 zone. It looks like what you're doing right now is you're pulling back to find support on the golden ratio. That's what it looks like you're doing. Previous areas of resistance to find support. I think you look good. I think you look good. You look fine, right? You move down a lot, very insignificant amounts of volume, right? I would expect that you are going to bounce back pretty shortly. 3 hour time frame where the RSI is, higher lows. You don't look bad. You don't look good. You're kind of neutral, but overall getting overbought in the RSI, not even really getting below the 40. That's a very bullish look. So I'm not worried about this thing at all. It does appear as though your 3 hour time frame is kind of in this upward sloping channel or like trend. It kind of looks like it's definitely on the bottom at least, right? It's got this higher low scheme going on, which also makes me a little bit bullish. Want to look at the daily time frame. Let's see, daily RSI getting lower lows, right? That's nice. This is actually what they call a broadening top, man. That's crazy. That's a true megaphone right there. Oftentimes broadening wedges, broadening wedges are different than broadening tops, right? A broadening wedge can be like this, right? And that's different than like up and down. You've got this one sloping up and down. That's a true broadening top, where that's a broadening wedge. Broadening wedges can also slope downwards, but both of these lines are sloped downwards. Both of those lines are sloped upwards. It's rare. It's very rare to get one that's sloping up and sloping down, right? I don't know how rare that is in the RSI, but I think that that's kind of cool. TA nerd recognizing a rare pattern. That's all. That's all. Finding support at the 50 would be nice. You got higher lows overall. It does seem like you're in an uptrend as well, so I would hope you find support here. I think that you would. You've got lower lows in the RSI. That's what I was addressing, and now you've got higher lows in the price. That's hidden bullish divergence. That's a good thing. It's actually a very good thing. Relative high here to the relative low. Looking constructive in this fib. Yeah, I got no problem with this at all. I mean, technically what you did was you found support on your 1272. Now you're finding support at like your 1414. You could move up higher. I definitely do think you're going to move higher. So let's move on from this and talk about some higher projections then. $103 now. High to low. I think you move up potentially by the end of January to $389. $804 could be your target. Let's look here. Link. $24 now. Just broke above this high, back testing it for support. Yes, beautiful, beautiful move. You're at $23.95. I would think by the end of January, Link is at about $43 to $57, somewhere in that range. So with that potential, yes, I could really see G-Link going up to $389. Even as high as 804 is on the table, but I think 389 to 524 by the end of January is the expected target. So that's good. That's a nice look there. Good job, G-Link. Let's move on from that and talk about Mana now. M-A-N-A. Mana and the underlying asset. So here you are. Looks like I have the projected outcome here, right? Here you are, finding resistance at your 382, finding support at your 236, also finding support at your weekly 123 moving average. It's a beautiful combination of events, my friends. I very much do believe you're going to move up from here. I think you're going to bounce. I think you won't stop at the 382, and I think you will break out. This is the Mana underlying asset actual crypto chart, right? 76 cents is that resistance point. You break above there, I think it's a nonstop party up to $1.67 to $2.10. Okay, so if I'm expecting Mana by the end of January, by the way, to make a 237 to a 330% move, 237, 330% move, something like that. I mean, I would expect that Mana Grayscale Trust then would probably be at its all-time highs, if not above its all-time highs, right? Just tracking the underlying asset, it would be basically at its all-time highs. Okay. Looking at it from its fib, if I hadn't looked at the underlying asset, looking at the chart right now, my assumption would be that by the end of January, you saw $40 to $52 targets. You're at 13.51 now. That could be where you top off. But taking into account the underlying asset, it's completely possible, you guys, that this thing could be worth a lot higher than that, man. I mean, yeah, it could be worth 139 by the end of this by the end of January, by the end of this move. It absolutely could. Maybe that's a little bit later down the line. Maybe it's something in between 69 bucks and 139 bucks. Maybe at like 80 bucks. Who knows? But definitely higher targets to come pretty soon, I would think. Daily RSI looks killer, man. Looks really good. I love these higher lows. Look at that nice trend there. I already have to draw the line. You can see it with your eyes, right? Higher lows, higher highs, looking phenomenal. Bouncing off the 40, we would love to see that. I think that's a good look. 3-hour RSI, not looking as good as the daily, but it's better than it is worse, I suppose, right? And I like the price action overall. So yeah, very confident that Mana, the Grayscale Trust, finds support here, starts moving up higher. If you were to move lower, it's going to be insignificant and it would be fast. Not a lot of liquidity, so I would just get in if you want to get in on this, right? But that's Mana, Grayscale Trust. As far as, you know, I can hear people saying, what's the cycle high prediction going to be for this? I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's hard to say. You know, high to low. I think that it'll be worth thousands, probably. Thousands. Yes, you heard me correctly. Thousands, probably. So I think Mana itself, I mean, at a minimum, 15 bucks about. It's a 28x. What's a 28x here for you? Because you'll probably do more than a 28x. I mean, that puts you 29x. That puts you at 400, right? I think you would at least double that. So, okay, so maybe not thousands. At least, like, I would think at least above 1,000, man, yeah. Like 1,800, 4,000, it could be a very doable target. I don't know if you see 4,000. 1,800, that's just so, that's so far away. 133x. 133 based off of that. I mean, that's too much, right? That's definitely too much. Maybe 667 to 893. That's a good minimum target area or likely expected area, right? I suppose 337 would be a good minimum, but genuinely I think 667 to 893 would be a more reasonable target for the end of the cycle for Mana Grayscale Trust. If Mana only goes to like 14 to 23 bucks. Probably not. If Mana goes to 23 bucks, you'll probably see this thing, I mean, it probably could go up to about 1,800 bucks. And if it does go up to 45 bucks, which I think Mana really could go all the way up to $45 by the end of the cycle, I really do think it has that potential. If Mana could basically do a 100x, then yeah, this thing, it's possible, man. It could do like a 300x. You never know. These premiums get crazy with stuff like this, man. It just sounds insane. I don't know. They would have to. There would be private placement sales that would hold the price back. You know, this is all based again off of just like standard technical analysis. Assuming that private placements come out next year in 2025, which I bet they do, it'll probably make these potential targets that are like over 100x, it'll make them null and void. So let's just get that out of there. Let's take that off the table. Rather be pleasantly surprised than expect something and be disappointed. Let's focus more on probably this $337 target to this $900 target. That's probably where you'll be by the end of the cycle for Mana, if I really had to guess and give it my most genuine opinion, right? Taking into consideration there will probably be multiple private placement sales next year, it makes sense that you probably don't see crazy gains on this. But I mean, crazy gains still, yes. I mean, 26x is pretty crazy in my opinion, let alone anything greater than that. That's Mana. Let's talk about BCHG, LTCN, and be done with this bad boy. So BCHG sitting here at $6, my friends. Moved down 5% yesterday. Double bottoming on the RSI, potentially finding support here. Where you found support before would be nice. Where you found support before would be nice. Where you found support before. So if you could turn around here tomorrow, that'd be nice. We're looking for a green day tomorrow is essentially the goal here, right? If we continue to move down, you guys, maybe Bitcoin Cash is getting an ETF approved. I don't know. Like what? Like that would be crazy, but like why would this thing keep moving down? And I know I keep getting a lot of things. I probably should have said this in the beginning of the video for Grayscale, but I keep getting a lot of people in the comments in my Discord, people who DM me who are asking about all the short trading with Grayscale, or people who say things like, it's all the short sellers, they're the ones holding the price back. That's not the truth at all, my friends. And I'm gonna make some logic out of that statement real quick for you. So just think about everybody who's trading, everybody who's going long, everybody who's going short, and not just on these trusts, but in the world. Most people don't make money trading. Most people lose money trading. The average trader is not profitable. If the average trader in the Grayscale Trust was short, and the words that I just said are true, which is that the average trader is not profitable, that would mean if the average Grayscaler or person invested in Grayscale, if the average leveraged position was short instead of long, that would mean on average those traders would be wrong, which would then imply that the price would go up, right? So I'm not saying that this means that there's more people going long than there are going short, but I think if your logic is there's more shorters than there are longers, that's a good thing. That's actually not a bad thing. You want there to be more shorters. You want there to be more people with their pants around their ankles if the price goes up than people who are making money if the price goes down, right? You want that, right? So, or I guess that would be the same thing. People with their pants around their ankles if the price goes up are the same people who would make money if the price were to go down. You want more people like that if you want the price to go up. You want more people who want to make money as the price goes down. You want that if you want the price to go up. If you have a bunch of people longing, that's when you should be scared that the price is going to turn around. I hope that makes sense. I know I didn't explain it the best way, or it might not be the most concise, but essentially be a contrarian with this stuff. If somebody says the shorts are at highs or they're growing at rates that we haven't seen before, if you hear anything like that, a bell should go off in your head that sounds something like ding 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 or cha-ching, because like it's about to go up. Generally speaking, high levels of shorting volume, short interest does promote growth in the price. It does, right? Because all those short sellers, man, they gotta buy back. They gotta buy back the asset, anyways. But anyways, I digress. You're at $6 now for BCHG. Overall low here to the overall high. Pull down to the golden ratio, finding a double bottom potentially here. You have moved down with lower volume. Your volume is decreasing as you're moving lower, so I very much do believe you're probably not going to progress from here. Again, if you progress too much further from here, you would probably break out of this consolidation phase to the downside. You would head to NAV price, and I would be under the assumption then that we're going to see an ETF be approved for BCH, which would just be crazy. But that would be one of the only things that like legitimizes that. We have seen some trusts trade at like discounts even during the bull cycle. I say some trusts, it's just one. It's ETCG, and I suppose that could happen too, but because there's so much FUD and fear with this. But I don't know. Normally when there's FUD and fear, it's the time to buy. It doesn't mean that we're going to go lower, right? It's when there's excitement and euphoria, that's when it's time to sell. And we definitely don't have that right now. At least not for BCHG. We look at the weekly RSI, it looks pretty damn bullish. Where the price action is too, man, I can't be bearish here. Because you're at previous areas of resistance, finding support, the volume's dying off, like all the right things, man, in all the right places. You just don't have the pump yet. So I guess I'll end this segment with the idea of a pump, right? From a high, to a low. The price, you're at $6 now, will likely move up to about $12.52 to $14 by the end of the year. That's kind of the expectation. I know that it was a lot higher before, but you guys, reality is we're just moving down. We got how much time left in this year here? 7 days, 14 hours. Some of those days are going to be weekends and holidays, so not much time at all left in the year. And actually, if we see, we probably got it right here, 24th, 26th, 27th. That's 3 days, 4, 5. We got 5 days left in the year. In those 5 days, can we move all the way up to $23, $20? Can we move up to this area that we were looking for by the end of the year? Probably not. Can we move up here by the end of January? Probably, but probably not by the end of the year, right? That'd probably be like beginning of January stuff, and then end of January we can move up there or something like that. But with this stagnation, with this lower low in price, I think it's inevitable that we have to rethink things right now, right? I think that as of now, this next move, whenever we do move up, it will take us to a higher high than this. The next areas of resistance based on the fibs and based on the price would be the 618 at about 1252, and on the price here, I would think anything from about 1412 to even as high as like, what is that? come on, $15 could be a possible target. Even as high as $18, right? We could see that by the end of the year, but more likely than not, that'd be like, if you're getting to the $16 to $19 target, that'd more likely than not be like the beginning of January. But I am expecting that we rally here pretty soon. I am expecting that going into the end of the year, we will see underlying assets, Bitcoin Cash, and cryptos pumping. So that'll bring the Grayscale Trust up a lot too, I would expect. I don't know. We'll see where this thing goes, man. We're at $6 now. I would expect that over the next month, you see anything from, I mean, likely more than a 100% growth, probably even more than a 200% growth from here. And then by the end of January, could we be at $37 to $47? Those targets are still on the table, but I don't know how likely they are, man. Right now, I'm just focusing on this target. I think by the end of January, maybe we're up here. Maybe we're up at this current high. And then we consolidate. And then going into March, April, May, that's when we make this, right? I think these targets are still on the table, but where we've been expecting them to happen by the end of January, I think we have to move it back at this point, probably to April, May times. That's my thoughts. Okay. Let's talk about LTCN now. LTCN hitting those higher lows, moved down 7%, and that's okay. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. That's a really good thing. Good combination. Hidden bullish divergence. We look at LTC on the price action here. $105. Nice. It's moving up a little bit. 3-day looks like it found its low. Absolutely bouncing off the 50. I love that. That's a really nice 3-day RSI right there, you guys. Daily time frame, lower lows, yeah, whatever. Bouncing off of the 40 area, an area that you found support once, twice, 3 times, 4 times before. Beautiful. Back out on the weekly low to high at the 0.5, closing above the 382. Beautiful move. I very much do believe that was your low, and I think you're moving up higher here pretty soon. I think Litecoin, this gives me some faith that LTCN is about to rip, you guys, because I think this thing is about to rip. By the end of the year, I think Litecoin will be at like $170 to $204. I really do. I think it'll be there. So if Litecoin will be at $170 to $200, it's a 60 to 90% move. That gives me a little bit more hope for BCHD even, but 60 to 90% move. Why do I have a 100x on here? 60 to 90% move. That could bring LTCN up to $24 to potentially $28 if it tracks LTC. Likely it doesn't track LTC. It actually grows more than that. So I think seeing anything from like $34 to potentially $46 by the end of the year is a possibility for LTCN. And it's worth $15 now, so that's immense growth. That gives me a little bit of hope for BCHG potentially. I don't know. Or maybe I'm too bullish on LTC. I don't think I am. But time will tell. I think this thing's just about to get started, you guys. I've seen a lot of pessimism in the comments, a lot of despair. It's wild and not wild at the same time how discouraged the Grayscale people are. But man, whenever you've got something that's just being boring like this while the rest of crypto's breaking out, I get it. I hear you. But it's oftentimes when people capitulate, when that capitulation moment happens, when everybody gives up, the paper hands, the weak hands, the people who aren't here for the end of the cycle, they get out. That's when we rip. And then all the people who sold these lows, who say, I'm out, I'm done, Grayscale was fun, but not really. Once the price is back up here, they're like, why did I ever sell? I'm going to buy here. And then it dumps again. So just anybody who has sold Grayscale trusts recently, don't buy back, okay? If it pumps in, if you want to buy back, you do it before it pumps. But if you're doing this thing where you bought over here and now you're selling over here, and then you're buying up here again, just stop. You're doing it wrong. You're buying high, you're selling low. Don't do it, okay? If you bought high and you haven't sold low and you want to sell high, okay, cool. You can sell higher, sure. But if you bought high, you sold low, don't buy high again, please. Just if you sold and it pops without you, it's going to suck. It's going to feel bad, especially if you're taking a loss and you're selling at the lows, and then it goes up higher and you're at that last moment. If you just held on, it would have happened. It sucks. I get it. But you got to eat that. You got to eat that, right? You sold for a reason. Whenever it goes up there, whenever it goes higher than that, you gotta just let it go, right? Look somewhere else. But I don't know what else to say, guys. I think I'm at the end of this video. I very much do believe LTCN is going to move up here pretty soon to prices that are anywhere from like $30 to I should say at least $25 to potentially $35 by the end of January, or not by the end of January, by the end of this year. By the end of January, we're looking for $50 to $91. and then by the end of the cycle, new all-time highs. But I got nothing else for you guys. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Weekly RSI looks great. 3-day RSI looks great. Daily RSI looks great. 3-hour RSI even looks great. And I love the volume. The one thing they all have in common is that the volume is dying off on all these moves down. So, and you've got some higher lows coming in. So I definitely do believe you're going to bounce here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves.